What is going on, everybody? It's Roku here, back with more Darius content. And this video is a bit of a different type of video because I'm not going to be talking over a gameplay live. I'm going to be talking over my gameplay from like a replay perspective, because I want to spend this video discussing how you should be playing into like specific matchups, right? I want to make a series now on my channel where I talk about every single matchup and how you should be like playing to counter them, right? So we're going to start off our first example matchup with Aatrox. Now, Aatrox isn't exactly like a problematic matchup for a lot of people, but you know, like the Aatrox Darius matchup is a very, very hard skill matchup, right? So if you're a person who does not know how to play against Aatrox, you can find yourself getting like horrendously just shit on, because like if you don't know how to play around Aatrox's abilities, you're just gonna like get hit by everything, heavily outtraded, and you're gonna die, right? And there's an example of me getting heavily outtraded in this replay where like I get hit by every single thing, but then I learn and then I adjust my playstyle and basically like don't do that anymore. I will put the room page that I used in this match on the screen, but basically you need to go to the default Conqueror page with sorcery, because the key to this lane is to have enough damage to kill him in all-ins, which is where Conqueror comes in, and to have enough movement speed to dodge his abilities, right? Because Aatrox's win condition in lane is to hit his Qs and to hit his W, right? Because with Aatrox, the more damage he does, the more he heals. And the more he heals, you know, the more he's going to be able to tank through more of your damage, right? Simple. So, to counteract his healing, you can build a bit of armor early, but like that's only assuming if you get hit by his abilities, right? If you're effective at dodging, or if you're effective at like playing around them properly, then you should be good to go. And by just building straight up your damage items. I go for the early CSs. I tried my best to make sure I hit my Q on the Aatrox and the minions, but that did not work out, so it's alright. As a starter item, I went for D-Shield because the Aatrox lane, he outranges us level 1, right? And he outranges us for the whole lane because his first Q has very, very high range. So in case he plays like a completely passive like a player, he doesn't go aggressive at all, we want to take D-Shield so we can sustain from his Q poke, right? Because a lot of champions in top lane, they beat Darius by poking him out with their long range abilities. So we get like a bit out-traded in here. And I see that I'm not going to get level 2 before him, so I just back off, right? A lot of players, what they do is they just stand here around the CS, and they lose level 2, and they just get chunked out for half their HP, and they just die, right? But a fundamental thing that I screwed up here was that, like, as you can see, I'm only 1 minion away from getting like a kill from getting level 2, right? And in my mind, my level 2 is stronger than his, so I should be able to beat him, right? But the issue comes in that while doing this, I basically get hit by the damage of every single one of his Qs. I get hit by every single Q. As you can see, he's now at full HP and I'm at half HP. So even if I do get like the best trade in the world against him, I'm not going to be able to kill him. As you can see, I get very close, but he did his E, right? And as you guys know, Aatrox's E is an auto attack cancel. So I knew that my health was an auto away from death, so I just flashed out. I didn't want to risk dying there, because if I died, he has teleport, and he has his flash, so like it'll be very detrimental to me. Like I'll no longer be able to carry the game, basically, right? So I just flash out, fuck it, whatever, it's fine. I'll just sit back and sustain, right? Because I popped my healing potion, and I have D-Shield, so I should be fine. Darius has a lot of like natural health regeneration, so if I just play back a bit, I should have enough HP regen. Now, what I'm going to do here is try my best to slow push a massive minion wave into him, right? Because basically what he's doing is he's going to give up his wave, and he's not going to teleport back into lane because, to him it will be a waste. So I'm going to use this opportunity to get a massive wave stacked up on my side of the lane and then slowly push it towards him, right? So with this massive minion wave, I should be able to kill him in a 1v1 despite being a flash down and despite being down in items, because he's going back to base, right? And I'm not. But he shouldn't get too many items to the point where it's too significant, and I should get like such a big wave that it should make up for any stat differences there are. So as you see, I only last hit. Try to get every single CS. I obviously mess up a few times, but it's fine. Alright. And now we just, like, be patient here. Get all the CS, last hit everything. Right. Now, what's even better about the situation right now that I'm thinking is that my Nunu is here, right? So what's going to basically happen is that if Aatrox shows up instantly right now, the Nunu can just do this and then come in here and we get a clean like kill on Aatrox, or at least we take his flash, right? If that is not the case, he can do this, and come help me out if we do get into a 2-2 kind of situation. Because the junglers have already reset, right? They already went back to base or whatever, or they've just done their stuff, right? So because the junglers are now like, we kind of know that they're on this side of the map, right? And because of that, it could be like me 1v1 Aatrox is not really guaranteed, but me getting in the 2v1 is also a big possibility. And my Nunu being there is very, very good because he's a full tank, he can hold them down, and I need someone to basically peel me away from them so that I can get my 5 stacks and kill them both, right? So this is a great situation for us too, basically me and this Nunu. So yeah, he shows up instantly, and then Nunu actually goes for the Krugs here, which is fine. I try to get a good trade into him, because remember, I have such a big wave. Like, look at the items, right? He obviously has a long sword and a refillable pot against me. That's like more stats than me, right? But because of the amount of minions I have, every single time he tries to auto attack me, all these guys are going to like aggro onto him and start hitting him, right? And that's great for me, because that basically lets me win any trade. So I went for that trade, and I think I did decently okay, considering how I'm how I'm like down in items, and I'm supposed to go back after I shove this into his lane, right? I ward here. That's a bit of a lazier ward. I should have put it a bit further down. So yeah. Now we know that the Lily is coming. Right, I see him on my ward. And now here's my like thought process, right? If I can grab the Aatrox in here, like chunk him down, and try to get like even if I do die, the Nunu should be able to get a clean snowball right now if he just comes straight top, and should be able to get like a few kills, right? And I basically just I almost killed the Aatrox, right? And I even like I was about to get a W into the Lilia, so I didn't kill her. But the Nunu is not able to do anything because it was a bit too late. Like, he basically like was doing his thing instead of just instantly like snowballing here when Lilia showed up, right? But like, honestly, like that happening is not as bad because look at the wave here, right? That's like the big important thing. The Lilia, like the me, like me fighting in the wave like this and letting the Lilia Q the lane has led to a point where like she basically shoved the lane for this Aatrox, right? Like my CS is higher than this Aatrox because this Lilia kind of fucked Aatrox's lane by killing me here, right? She Q'd the wave twice, 3 times, whatever. And so this lane is going to shove into me. So when I respawn and when I get here, right, I should be able to do this again. Just slow push another wave. And at that point, I'll have my ghost and I should just be able to kill him, right? Because remember, he flashed there to get away from me, right? I'll play it to the point where he had to flash to survive because I could just auto him and kill him there. So right now we know this. He does not have flash. The wave is perfect for me, and I will have at least ghost for the next all-in, right? So, like, we're gonna try to apply our knowledge of how we should fight against Aatrox in terms of dodging his Qs. Dodging his W is very, very important because if Aatrox like lands his W, he essentially guarantees that he lands at least 2 of his Qs onto you, right? So no matter whenever you get hit by his W, just ghost and run out of it, right? Just run out of his W, like straight up, because if you stay in it, you just die, right? Alright, I just slow push like a massive wave over a big period of time. We know that everyone is bot side, so we're not going to get too much competition here, like in terms of 2v1. We shove the lane in. And alright, we go into the river to take the enemy plants and etc. I take the side wave, I take the blast cone, which is very good because Lilia has no like cross wall, like gap closers, right? She can't cross a wall. So taking this blast cone into junglers like that, like, you know, Olaf, Lilia, who are kind of immobile, is very, very strong. So I take that, and now the lane is pushing into me, and I'm in a perfect position for an all-in to kill him, right? So if he goes in on me, I just win the fight. I have my ghost, and I will have my flash soon. So knowing this, he Qs in. And I'm just waiting for his patience to run out, right? Basically, the longer he basically like lets like the time go, the better chance I have of killing him, because now I have my flash open too, right? So what I'm waiting for here is to make sure that the lane pushes a bit up, but it's stuck here. So once it's stuck around here, I can just kill him straight up, unless he goes in right now, right? Which he doesn't, but he will go in on me soon and he will die. A mistake that I made there was queuing the wave. But on the bright side, the Aatrox himself pushes into me like an idiot. So the wave is now stuck here. And he E towards me. So this is the perfect position for an all-in. Ghost. I run out of W, as I said. Auto to Q the stacks up. And now I know he has no flash or anything. RWQ, auto, R, auto. And he just dies, right? What basically happened there was he kind of used his E aggressively, right? An Aatrox should use his E to kite you, but he used his E aggressively, right? So I knew, okay, if I catch him right now, he has no way of repositioning well, so I can just run him the fuck down. And that's what happened. A mistake on my part was getting hit by the W. If I kind of dodged the W, I would have not had to use my flash there, but it's fine, we had to do it, we just win anyway. Now, normally you wouldn't have the time to shove because teleport is up on him, but keep in mind that in this point of the lane where it's level 7, level 8, the death timers are like 20 seconds long, so you actually do get the time to shove full lanes in. If you're greedy, you can also go for a plate, but I realized that, hey, you know, the HP on this turret is kind of high, I can't easily get it, and if I were to do like the plate there, he would teleport back somewhere and just kill me, because as you guys know, teleport gives you like enhanced movement speed when you get back, right? So we kind of beaten this Aatrox, more so with knowledge of the minions rather than knowledge of the matchup, because the higher in elo you get, the more like the minions matter, right? In higher elos, they say that like the champion's interactions with the other champions matter less than the champion's interactions with the minions, right? And that's clearly the case here, because I basically used the fact that the Lilia, despite ganking me, I used the fact that she kind of fucked his wave to basically like do a permanent state of where I just slow push massive waves into him, and when they're on their way back, I can basically stop him from doing the same to me because I'm stronger than him. There's a messy fight that goes down here, our Nami ints. Alright, now this is pretty much like a deja vu kind of moment, because we know that the Lilia is here, right? As you guys see, so there's like a fight at the Herald. So what they want to do is they want to get the 2-1 gank on me, right? So we kind of know for sure that Lilia's around here somewhere, right? Either here, or she's going up into these bushes, because we don't have a vision here, right? So, or she's going up into these bushes for a lane gank. So I basically try to make sure that my Nunu understands this, right? But if you guys can tell, I'm trying to like, once he comes in, I'm pinging him, hey, you know, there's Lilia here, so get ready for the 2v2, right? And so the idea is, he goes in, he CCs them, and I isolate one of them and kill them both, right? Because I have my ultimate, but I don't have my summoner spells. So he's gonna have to do a lot of work here. So we catch him. Then Lilia uses her sleepy thing, or it's a slow rather. And now, this is basically what we needed, right? He isolates the Lilia, stops her from helping him, and I just kill him alone. And I use the 5 stacks to then kill the Lilia. They did a bit of outplaying themselves, but it's not exactly enough. The Nunu gets the kill, but then this basically leaves Lilian in a position where I could just run in, kill her, and the Nunu can get away for free. So in summary, Darius versus Aatrox is a skill matchup that's in the favor of Darius slightly. The rune setup you should be taking into Aatrox is Conqueror, always, with Sorcery secondary. Now this is where players who are great at dodging or good at maneuvering with Ghost, because into Aatrox, the most like effective way to put him down is to dodge his abilities and not get hit by them in the first place. If you find yourself struggling to like dodge his abilities, or if you find yourself getting poked down, you're free to go resolve, where you can go second wind if you get poked down. But if you're just bad at dodging but still want to all in him, you can go for bone plating, because bone plating is great in short trades, or like against trades against people like Aatrox who like to do like combos with multiple abilities at a time. In terms of the build, you're free to go for Phage if you want, but one stat that you need is armor. So you can get Ninja Tabis, you can get Bramble Vest, or even a Chain Vest if you want, but that's like if you're planning on building it into something on your third item, right? So you just need armor into Aatrox, because Aatrox heals more damage if he deals more damage. So armor is a great way to shut him down. In terms of the mechanical things that you need to know, you need to make sure that you dodge his abilities. If he lands every single Q on you, you will lose the fight 100% of the time, right? If he lands his W on you, he can use it to land more Qs onto you. So you should try your hardest to not get hit by his Qs using your superior movement speed. If you get hit by his W, use your best to just walk out of it. You can flash out of it, you can use your ghost to just run out of it as fast as possible, whatever works. If any point in time the Aatrox uses his E to dash into you, then that's your sign that you should go in on him. If he uses his E to dash into you, then you understand that, like, hey, even if he lands one Q, he does not have the E to reposition for another. So you can use this knowledge to basically just all in him and just beat his head in, right? Against Aatrox, it's important in all to kill him as quickly as possible, right? You don't want to do stupid shit where you just save it for your ult or save it for your Q. You just want to DPS him down as quickly as possible, because the longer the fight goes, the more Aatrox can deal damage to you, and the more damage he deals, the more he heals off of it, which gives Aatrox the opportunity to go for some like crazy comeback sort of plays, kind of like how Darius does it with his Qs. As a last thing to note about this matchup is that you should always try to hit your Qs, right? Your Qs are very important in all bruiser matchups. Like if you miss them, it's just an opening for the enemy to go in and kill you, and this is especially important in the Aatrox matchup, where if you miss your Qs, then you just get heavily out-traded. So make sure you understand that, like, land your Qs, and if it's someone where like it's a player who like kind of is good at dodging your Qs, then you use your E or your W to make sure that he can't dodge them. So yeah guys, that is pretty much it for this video. Now I was thinking of basically going further and showing you guys how I managed to 1v9 this game with the lead I gained through lane, but I realized that that is a bit too much for this video, because this video is focusing on the Aatrox lane and the Aatrox matchup, whereas me doing that would be like going off on a bit of a tangent, and it would lead to the video losing its focus. So that is it for this video. I'll be ending it off right here.